Hello and a warm welcome to the Southern View that brings news from all across South India. I'm Sam Daniel from Chennai. I'll be joined by my colleagues Uma Sudhir from Telangana, Ashish from Andhra Pradesh, and Ritu from Karnataka. Let's begin with news from Tamil Nadu. In what's being called as yet another cash for jobs scam, the Enforcement Directorate, sources say, has urged the Tamil Nadu DGP to file a case or to file an FIR in the appointment of around 2,500 officers and staff in the Municipal Administration Department in Tamil Nadu. The allegation is that these jobs have been given to at least 150 people of the 2,500, collecting bribe ranging from 25 to 35 lakh rupees. This evidence the Enforcement Directorate stumbled upon when it was inquiring another case unrelated to this, and now the Enforcement Directorate has asked the Tamil Nadu Police to find out how the examination system was manipulated, who all were in the know and network, the role of Anna University, which allegedly had conducted the examination, and to find out the politicians and officials involved in this network. The ruling DMK has called it a false narrative set by the Enforcement Directorate, saying that the ED is being used by the central government, the BJP at the center, to target the opposition ruled states across India. But the BJP has called it to be yet another huge scam and has called for a thorough probe. The AIADMK has pointed out that already DMK Senthil Balaji is facing allegations of yet another cash for jobs scam during his tenure as minister when Jayalalitha was the chief minister, when Senthil Balaji used to be with the AIADMK. And this is what the opposition, AIADMK and BJP, had to say.
Senthil Balaji is hanging on the thread with just the judgment is pending for the same cash for jobs scam which is there. And there is one more person in the local administration. Looks like the entire net of politicians of DMK, staffs of the government, and many are involved. And ED had sent a letter to the DGP asking him to file an FIR so that they can proceed with the investigation. Clearly shows how corruption is deep rooted in this DMK, wherein the corruption money flows to the top or maybe till to the chief minister of the state, M.K. Stalin.
This is shocking but not surprising because the cash for job scam is not new to this DMK government, not new to this secretary also. The same Mr. Karthikeyan, now the Mass Secretary, he was accused by the DMK when he was in CMD also. And in April 2025 also, the same thing has happened. We have definitely alerted, the ED has alerted that the Municipal Administration Minister as they have leveled charges that huge money has been diverted through their bank accounts, that is the contracts, transfers and also jobs in MAWS, that is the Municipal Administration Water Supply Department, when his brother's office was raided in April. So this is not new, and I think the government is keeping quiet, keeping calm in this issue. Very clearly says that 35 lakhs per job has been taken, has been given by the aspirants, and they have joined duty. The thing is that they have joined duty, and the government is going on like this.
Allegation, you yourself said, it's an allegation. Anyone can allege anything. What is the proof? What is the document? What is the local standard the ED has? ED's job is to probe money laundering after the FIR is registered. Is it constitutionally valid for the ED to ask another institution to file an FIR? That is mere politics, and we know the credibility of the ED as such. Right? Out of the cases filed by the ED, the charge sheets have been filed, or rather, only they could get conviction for only 0.01% of the cases. And if out of the 5,000 cases, for only 10% of the cases, even the charge sheet has been filed. So that is the credibility of the ED. If someone is with BJ, if someone is with opposition to state, then ED will, in the name of investigation, arrest them and keep them in prison. And then if again, the moment they join the ruling party, they have gone scot-free.
The TVK had its administrative committee meeting with 28 members in what's being called as the revamped administrative committee. This is the first major meeting TVK Chief Actor Vijay held after the Karur tragedy that killed 41 people. Importantly, the meet discussed the resumption of TVK Chief Actor Vijay's statewide tour, which got suspended over the last 1 month after the terrible tragedy. We understand the meeting would resume in a new format now. Secondly, the party is also convening its General Council very soon, and this is what TVK's General Secretary Adav Arjun had to say. So Arun Raj, who was addressing the press here, and what's going on?
முதல் ஆலோசனை கூட்டம் எப்படி போயிருக்கு? சில முக்கிய நிர்வாகிகள் இல்லைன்ற விமர்சனம் இருக்கு. அதை எப்படி பார்க்குறீங்க?
இல்லை, அதாவது தலைவர் அவர்கள் வந்து இந்த குறிப்பிட்ட நோக்கத்திற்காக இந்த குறிப்பிட்ட இந்த குழு அமைக்கப்பட்டது. அதற்காக வந்து அனைவரும் வந்திருந்தாங்க. இது சிறப்பாக.
When will the General Council be held, sir?
This official announcement will come in 1 or 2 days.
Is the TVK going to resume the statewide tour of Mr. Vijay from now on?
Yeah, we are waiting for this SOP, which is pending before the Madras High Court. Once this state government gives a proposal for this SOP, then we will be resuming it.
Will it be in a new format now? Will it be in a new format?
திட்டமிடப்பட்டிருக்கு சார் இந்த
கட்சி சார்பில் வந்து அடுத்து எந்த மாதிரி வந்து மக்கள் சந்திப்பு நீங்கள் கரூரில் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க, ஒரு அசம்பாவிதம் நடந்தது. அதை வந்து எந்த விதத்தில் வந்து சிறப்பாக வந்து பொதுமக்களுக்கும் மற்றவங்களுக்கும் இடையூறு இல்லாத வகையில் பண்ணணுங்கிறது நாங்கள் ஆலோசனை நடத்திக்கிட்டு தான் இருக்கோம். இந்த SOP வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் நாங்கள் வந்து கண்டிப்பாக
meetings be in a new format? Will the meetings be in a new format?
இல்ல வந்து ஒருங்கிணைந்த ஒரு மாவட்டங்களை ஒருங்கிணைச்சு அந்த கூட்டங்கள் நடத்துவதற்கான அந்த திட்டம் ஏற்பாடு பண்ணியிருக்காங்களா? இல்ல இதற்கு முன்பாக நடத்தப்பட்ட மாதிரி இந்த 2 மாவட்டங்களை ஒன்றாவா இல்ல ஒருங்கிணைந்த மாவட்டங்களா?
இல்ல, அது நாங்க டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். கண்டிப்பா நாங்க அபிஷியலா நான் சொல்லுவோம்.
So will the meeting be in a new format now? The
மீட்டிங் வந்து ரெகக்னைஸ்ட் பார்ட்டிக்கு, ரெஜிஸ்டர்ட் அண்ட் ரெகக்னைஸ்ட் பார்ட்டிக்கு தான் இருக்குன்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. கண்டிப்பா எங்களை இன்வைட் பண்ணா நாங்க கண்டிப்பா போய் எங்க கருத்துக்களை நாங்க சொல்லுவோம்.
That was Mr. Arun Raj, TVK's General Secretary for Policy, talking to us, saying that TVK Chief Vijay would soon resume the public meetings, the statewide tour he had launched earlier, which got suspended after the recent rampage. Well, that's the news from Tamil Nadu. We'll go across to my colleague Ritu for all the developments from Karnataka.
Thank you, Sam. Here in the Karnataka, amid the speculation of this change in the CM face, you see there's a big statement that's been made by the BJP former minister Sriram Maru, who in fact has come out to state that the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, on the name of dinner, which was in fact held at CM's residence just a couple of weeks back, has in fact collected allegedly 300 crore to fund the Bihar polls. Now, what again he also goes on to add further is that that's also for the Karnataka CM to save his chair. Now that's a big statement that's coming from the former BJP minister. We've been seeing how that the CM has also been reacting to these speculations, where he's made it very clear categorically, in fact stating that there would not be any sort of a change in the CM face. Now whatever the high command says, the party will abide by it, but all that needs to be seen, because this is a big statement that's come in by the former BJP minister. Now interestingly, he's also the same leader who was earlier back before 2019 was in the Congress party itself. Now that's the reason this particular statement from the former BJP minister is gaining an attraction. But listening to what exactly he had said.
ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಹತ್ರ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಅವರು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಹತ್ರ ಬೇಡಿಕೆ ಇಟ್ಟಾರಂದ್ರೆಗಿನ ಅವಧಿ ಅಂತೂ ಅದು 2 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಮುಗಿದೋಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ನು ನವೆಂಬರ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ 2.5 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಆಗಬಹುದು. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಹತ್ರ ಈ ಬಿಹಾರ್ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಚಿವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಊಟಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆದು 300 ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 300 ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ವಸೂಲಾತಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರು ಇವತ್ತು ಅವರದಂತೂ ಯಾವುದೇ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದಿಂದ 300 ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಕಾಮಧೇನು ಕಲ್ಪವೃಕ್ಷ ತರ ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯರು ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Well, you see, this is the big breaking that we are getting right now from the Karnataka itself, where you have the Ahinda group now coming out and launching this special campaign in support of the Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah. So yes, the CM change row continues here in the state. Now, why this particular moment is really gaining an attraction is also because Ahinda here in the state becomes very important. Now, this is the group that consists of basically the Dalit voters. You have the backward class voters as well, significantly, and now that's the reason you see this is a clear indication or a message that the Ahinda voters are trying to give to the Congress High Command as well, because they want the Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah to complete full of 5 years. Now that's what has been really a demand from the Ahinda group, but needs to be seen, because now they are urging the High Command to die down this whole of the confusion and the speculations that are around about the change in the CM phase. Now needs to be seen whether that the High Command will now at least take it seriously, because these are the voters basically who are coming out, the groups are coming out and giving this message to the High Command. Well, next up is the new controversy that has erupted here in the Karnataka. Now, the pet project of the Deputy CM DK Shivakumar has hit the major hurdle. Now, the Tunnel Road project, in fact, is been in the news for quite a long time now. Now, there's a fresh debate that's coming with that. The Deputy CM DK Shivakumar stating that the private bus services cannot be allowed on the roads. Now, there's also a social obligation that the people have it, because none of them would want to really get married to a person who do not own a car in the city. Now, that's the kind of interesting statement that's coming from the Deputy CM DK Shivakumar. But you have the BJP MP Tejasvi Surya, who's taking this whole matter very seriously, asking the Deputy CM to in fact turn down the whole of the Tunnel Road project, because this is not going to bring in any sort of a solution to the city when we talk about the Bengaluru's decongesting of the traffic. Now, interestingly, you have the the MP Tejasvi Surya saying that he was really not aware what is that the Deputy CM is trying to really tell, whether he considers the social obligation. Now, listening to what Deputy CM DK Shivakumar as well as the BJP MP Tejasvi Surya are with the headloggers. Here are the statements of them.
I had a very cordial, a very meaningful meeting with the Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar regarding ideas and proposals to decongest Bengaluru and provide sustainable transport solutions. We have discussed in detail how public transport and increasing the public transport footprint in Bengaluru is the only way, sustainable way, for effective commute and mobility in the city.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ನ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಬಸ್ಗಳು ಓಡಾಡಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಗಳೇ ಈಗ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಆ ಬಸ್ಗಳು ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡೋದು ಏನು ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಏನೋ ಕೆಲವು ಒಂದು ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ರು ಪವರ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
Well, all this is fine. There's a huge politics that we are seeing regarding the Tunnel Road, project. Basically, on the other side, you see, there's a major topic that we are discussing is also about whether that the private buses services needs to be allowed here in the city. Will that really bring in a solution? Politics is there, that's fine, but really what matters is the voice of the citizens. Yes, in fact, today, earlier in the day, I did hit the ground to bring you this ground report and understand what that the really citizens have to say about it. Watch this interesting report. IT City Bengaluru, as it tries to spread the wings and also grow further, it's also famous for the traffic issues. In fact, we are right now, the NDTV has hit the ground to bring you this ground reality of how the traffic jams really looks like across the city, especially in the areas where there are many tech companies that are located. We are right now on the outer ring road that takes you from Hebbal to the Silk Road, and you can see the traffic jam over here. More of the four-wheelers on the roads. You have two-wheelers also on the roads. Now that's the kind of traffic jam that the city really battles with. Now what's really quite interesting for us to understand is that accordingly there is almost around 1.4 crore of the population. For that you have 1.2 crore registered vehicles. Now all that we try and understand is that we do see there's a huge debate right now that has really started in the state between the opposition, that's the BJP in the state, and also the prominent voices who are really urging the state government and to allow the private bus services in the city to reduce the traffic jam. Now, what's really interesting for us to try and understand over here as we hit the ground zero is you see most of these four-wheeler vehicles that we can really see as only one person driving, while this particular vehicle can actually have 4 to 5 members in it. Now, that's also one of the reasons why it also leads to the traffic jam is what has been said as well. What is important for us to try and understand is what's the sentiment on the ground? What really public needs? Do they really need more BMTC buses? Are they fine with the private bus services as well? Are they very comfortable with the luxurious life that they only want to go on roads with the four-wheelers? That's something that we will try and find out on the ground.
I personally think what you said is correct. We should, we can accommodate 4 to 5 people in our cars, but due to one or the other reason, it's not working for us as well. And the traffic is too high. So waiting for the buses and even the buses, metro stations, everything is full at Bangalore. So no matter what sort of transport we choose for, it's not working for us. So this is one of the reasons why I personally chose to go to office by car by myself.
As it is, Bangalore is too much of traffic, so much of pollution. So we are literally suffering for while going to office and coming back in a daily life as well. So it's impacting our health also, it's pollution. So yeah, private buses is helpful for us.
You have good amount of electric buses which will really help. But private vehicles, what happens is if you have to go to the smaller lanes, right? So that's when it becomes difficult. You can't use the private thing. And if you have to go to office, so the office is inside. So you can't, the bus goes to a point. From there, they have to walk back again. So that's another difficult chance. And you don't get other vehicles also.
That's all we had from Karnataka. Now over to my colleague Ashish who brings us more news. Ashish, over to you.
Thank you, Ritu. In fact, we are in Kakinada, and since yesterday we've been reporting from Kakinada. It's a ground zero where Cyclone Montha, in fact, made the landfall. We are at one of the fishing hamlets here in Kakinada. It's called Upada village, and here all the fishermen's houses in fact evacuated during the cyclone landfall. Remember, the cyclone made landfall here around Kakinada, in between Machilipatnam and Kakinada, and since the wind speed and rain was battering the district, not only Kakinada but East Godavari, West Godavari, neighboring Konasima district also received high speed of wind as well as rainfall. Right now the situation here is that local MP, Kakinada MP, he is from Janasena Party, NDA MP. He is visiting the affected people and in fact talking to their grievances and assuring them all kind of assistance. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, he is also right now while we are talking, he is also conducting an aerial survey of districts affected by Cyclone Montha. Kakinada, here he'll come and he'll review situation, aerial survey he'll conduct. He'll land in fact in neighboring district of Konasima, where lot many houses and lot many trees were uprooted and several villages in fact had a power outage. So Chief Minister will land there and review the situation in Konasima. Apart from Konasima, he'll also go to districts of Bapatla and other. In fact, we are joined by the MP. Sir, tell me about the situation on ground right now. Any casualty? What kind of damage the district has received?
So, good afternoon, everyone. We, as expected, our NDA government was prepared 4 days precautionary. We have taken all the precautionary measures to zero the casualties and minimize the property damages. And yes, we are proudly saying that we are successful in that. Our leader Pawan Kalyan Garu and our CM Garu monitoring this and guiding us in all the aspects to minimize the damages and zero casualties. As we succeeded that, and we are proudly saying that. And now at present, the effect of the cyclone is minimized now, so there is no any issues according to the reports. But the damages, what happened here, every relief camp has been provided with in Pittapuram itself. We have provided more than 30,000 meals and 1.5 lakh water packets and 5,000 liters of milks, medicines, and in 25 relief camps we have provided everything, and we evacuated everything requesting as our family members, and we have brought them here. So now we are here on rectifying the works of the civil works. The damages roads has been, means we are calling for the tenders, and before that itself, when the water is passing through the sea, we have stopped that immediately. With immediate action, and now we are repairing all the damaged roads, and we are clearing all the disturbances which happened for the transport by clearing all the poles and the trees. So I'm thanking all the personals who are here helping us with the according. You also, I'm appreciating you also. You are on the ground in this huge cyclone. And appreciating the media also for assisting us, and all the administrative also.
Thank you so much for talking to us, sir. So clearly, there are few houses, in fact, in nearby village, it was damaged due to cyclone. Cyclone has now moved toward Telangana and further to Chhattisgarh. It has turned into a depression. Telangana is receiving heavy rainfall. We have our colleague Uma there. She'll inform us about the rainfall and kind of weather disturbance Telangana is witnessing.
Thank you, Ashish. The severe cyclonic storm that has ravaged Andhra Pradesh has now turned into a cyclonic storm and now into a deep depression, in fact, but it has been bringing non-stop rains now in Hyderabad and in many Telangana districts for the last 24 hours. And yes, Yadadri and Warangal and Nalgonda and other areas have received 10 to 11 centimeters of rain, and there have also been flash floods in several areas. In the IT area of Hyderabad, there is a traffic gridlock that has happened on the outer ring road, the ORR as it is called, the exit number 17 or entry number 17 as it is called, near the Himayat Sagar. That area has got flooded, and our viewers are advised not to go towards that area and to avoid that area of the ORR exit and entry point, gate number 17 itself, near Himayat Sagar as well. But I must tell you three other things that have happened. The road to Srisalem has now been blocked from Hyderabad because there has been landslide that happened in Srisalem. Remember, Srisalem is the area where Prime Minister Narendra Modi was there just about 12 days ago for the puja at the Shiva temple there. But just near the temple is where these landslides happened. But very luckily, the landslide happened at a time when people were not around. It happened at night, but 3 shops got demolished in the kind of landslide that happened there. 2 other things. One, in Nagar Karnool district of Telangana itself, there was a car that got stuck in the flooding and there was a man who was trapped inside, but locals were very, very vigilant. They immediately brought a rope and they are in fact shouting out to him saying, let the car go, you hold on to the rope and you can come to safety, and that's what they did. They even asked him, in fact, with a kind of a quick thinking, I should say, asked him to bring the car keys along, and yes, he brings the car key along and he got rescued from that area. But in Khammam, there was a DCM driver that, despite warnings and shoutings from this side, asking him to stop because it's going to be very difficult, he continued coming, and then those dramatic visuals of the DCM, in fact, going into the waters, getting drowned almost 80%. The status of the driver, as of now, not known, but not heeding a warning and advisory that's been given, leading to this kind of disastrous situation. In Nalgonda, Devarakonda, the Gurukul there, in fact, got flooded and children were trapped inside. The ST hostel there was trapped inside, and when the alert was sent out to the security agencies, to the disaster force, they have immediately responded, and the children there being brought to safety, holding on to each other's hands and holding on to the books that they have, their footwear as well, and crossing that very precariously. Thankfully, that was a very successful operation and they were able to bring these children out to safety. Another incident that happened in Ongole, where a man called Kotaya, in fact, got washed away by the waters. Luckily, he held on to a tree and stayed there the whole night. Thankfully, locals spotted him and then called in the security agencies, and then the security agencies went to him, the disaster force responding there and bringing him out to safety as well. So this kind of a rainy conditions we are expecting to continue over today as well, but hopefully by tomorrow the clouds may start to give some relief to the people in Telangana and elsewhere. Still, of course, the big agricultural loss that is happening because of waterlogging, not just in the Telangana areas, but in the banyan plantations, in the mirchi crops, in the cotton plantations there, all of that, and the rice plantations mainly in the West Godavari and the Godavari belt, which is a huge rice bowl for the country itself. All of that now standing in water, and that could damage the crop, and that's why Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu on that aerial tour, and he's expected to get off like Ashish was mentioning and inspect on the ground as well. We will continue to get you updates on Cyclone Montha and the effect that it is having on the ground, but for now it's a wrap from Southern View, from all the team of Southern View here at NDTV. It's a goodbye for now. After a very short break, we will bring you more news on the other side.